From Bramble Jam Network Studios, it's the Diss List with Bran Dan. 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 It's the Diss List with Bran Dan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Diss List. It's great to be here today.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Bran. This is Dan. And we're going to attack a list today.
We're going to attack a list?
Attack it.
We're going to attack a list today, as we do every week.
That's exactly right.
We bring on a guest. They give us a list of their top 10. They put a lot of thought into it. And then you and I put a very little amount of thought into it, and we give them a hard time anyway. Then we create a better list for them to take home with them.
That's exactly right. And we have a very special guest today who is going to talk about their topic that they've brought a list for. But first, hello, Jax. How are you?
I'm so wonderful. That was a delightful theme tune. Can we do a Bramble Jam musical? And I'm not kidding. Can we?
Well, we've talked about
an album.
We've talked about a Christmas album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we need more than that, though. We need theatrics. We need the whole
All right,
thing.
Rosemary.
Take
it down a notch.
Maybe a radio drama.
Now, Jax, for those that don't know you, introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are, your background.
Major minor of the bubbly sesh. Got to start in your career.
Yeah, like who are
Jax.
you and why are you here?
Who am I? I'm Jax. I was with the Bubbly Sesh, got fired from Hallmark, but still really wanted to engage with this incredible community. I was a child actor. 6 years old, community theater, was begging my parents to be able to audition in LA or New York. They had the good sense to say, no, ma'am, we're not going to do that. But I'm currently an actor and child acting coach. So this is the perfect category. Wait, have we said the category yet?
You're teasing it. What's that category?
What is it?
This category is Best Child Actors.
Of all time.
Of all time.
And this is, you get to choose the parameters here, but I'm assuming this is based upon their performances as a child. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's based upon their performances as a child. But what I will say is, this was really tough.
Yeah.
And if I'm really going with craft and like breadth of work, there's only a couple that I actually put in there for that reason. There's some I just put in there because I like and I think they're really good, or I was deeply enchanted by one of their characters.
Okay.
So I actually do think, if I'm being honest, you guys, I did spend a lot of time on this, and it's a subject I'm passionate about, but I do think that you will be able to help me improve my
Okay.
list.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
The rules are very simple. Jax is going to give us her list of top 10 child actors, 10 through 1. We'll get to comment on it a little bit,
yeah.
and then we'll also get to mess around with it a little bit. What are the changes that we're able to make to a list?
We can take out 2 names and put in 2 of our own.
That's exactly right.
That's one. And I will say, in my very quick overview of child actors, I feel like there's some non-negotiables here, and I hope that Jax has those in there so it doesn't get awkward. And then we also can.
I know I left out 2 purposely.
We also can flip the placement of 2. But Bran, you get to do that. You can pull out 2, replace them, and then you can flip the placement of 2. But I get to do that, you get to do that, and then we're going to present those lists to Jax, and she gets to choose which list is the final list.
It's very stressful. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
I did some research of my own going into this to make sure that I feel like I had a good hand on some names that I definitely need to see, and if I don't see, I need to add those. So we'll get to that really quickly before we get to number 10. What, as you are teaching children how to act, you are a child actor coach, and you coach them. What makes a really good child actor, and what makes one that's just kind of like, okay, it's a kid who's acting, maybe not a child actor?
It's interesting with kids because I think they just have so much openness and imagination. I think most kids with the right kind of training can be good, but there are also things that you can't teach. And I feel like the kids that I know and that I coach that are the best actors are very imaginative. They're super empathetic, and they're really playful about it. Like they're just having fun with it. But at the same time, they're disciplined, but they're not fanatical about it. They're disciplined in the way that you would be with any sport you play or your schoolwork. They take it seriously, but they're having a lot of fun with it.
Jax,
And I can say, just to brag on my kids, one is in the Gypsy Revival right now on Broadway. One is about to be in Stranger Things on Broadway. Wow. One just did Urinetown at City Center. So I'm just saying, if you want to study with me.
That's right.
Is that Urinetown?
No.
Urinetown. It was
Urinetown?
Do you know that musical? You would actually love it.
Like the P?
Yes, yeah, the P.
Like the P. Yeah.
Urinetown.
It's the Disney. Jax, I was the bad guy in my church's children's play one year, and I learned a lesson and got saved at the end of it. How do you think? No, that's great. No. Not in real life, Bran. Just the character got saved.
I know. I'm still working on it.
But I'm method. It was real for me.
You had an arc.
How do you think I did? How do you think it went for me?
Well, how old were you?
I think I was 10 or 11.
It's unfair for you to ask her without seeing the tape.
I mean, just if you could guess, 10 or 11-year-old me, and I got to play basically the bully. It's like they're on this field trip, and then it's called Go-Go Jonah. They learn about Jonah, and then that has an impact on this kid's
Your
life.
parents have this? They have that on tape?
My parents didn't have we didn't have camcorder money growing up.
Let me tell you why I think you were great.
Okay.
Because even now you're very entertaining, you're very theatrical, you're a very good storyteller. But I think something about this particular role that sounds compelling is there's this interesting arc. And for you, I don't think you're actually a bully, but you can get in there and you can play that role and have fun with it. But you also have, I mean, look, let's be real, you have a heart of gold. So that transition is not going to be difficult for you.
I'm so happy
beautiful.
you picked up on me fishing for compliments, and there was no Jonah pun intended there.
Oh.
I'm thankful you got there. I appreciate that because that's what I needed to hear because the reviews were not great.
Are you in the Big Fish?
Reviews were not great.
No, they were great. They were great. I even had
They
a
better
line.
be.
Local paper tore them apart.
I even had a line. My dad was the pastor, and I had a line where I got to say, my dad sleeps through church every Sunday. Massive. I'm talking the laugh line on that, Jax, was unmatched.
You've been chasing that high ever since,
Yeah,
brother.
it was
I know,
meta.
honestly, that's what happens.
Oh.
That is what happens. Something I remember the way my cousins and my sister laughed when I did impressions of the Torkelsons. I'll be chasing that high for the rest of my life, and that's the beauty of it.
There it is. There it is. Should we
Bran,
dive
did
into
you-
the list?
were-
No, go ahead, Bran.
Wait, was Bran a child actor?
Of course, I was in church performances, but I don't
I
need.
mean,
I
you were
don't need.
darling.
I know. I'm very confident in my.
You were Joseph. I could see you being a good Joseph or a wise man.
I am a wise man. Thank you for noticing that. Thanks for picking that. I kind of live in it. I'm still method. I haven't let that one go.
You're still Joseph.
I'm still Joseph. All right, let's get into the list. Are we ready
Every
to
day
go?
he comes in, he's like, I don't know how this woman got pregnant.
I know. I say it every day. It's a weird thing, but they kind of let me say it. All right, let's get to the list, shall we?
I love that for us.
Jax, who do you have as the number 10 best child actor?
Number 10, best child actor. I have my girl, Kim Fields. She was on one of my favorite shows growing up. She played Tootie in The Facts of Life.
Tootie.
Absolute darling. Like, you would watch, did you guys watch, do you know her work? Do you know
I
Facts
know
of
her
Life?
work, yes.
I've seen her work,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
So she's also done Living Single. She did You Let It My Christmas, not that long ago as an adult, Keenan and Kel, all of these things. But we're looking at, for me, I was looking at a performance in The Facts of Life, and I'm not gonna lie, there's nobody cuter, there's nobody who's ever been cuter, who will ever be cuter than Tootie in The Facts of Life. Charming as all get out, and I just adore this little girl.
This is a great pick.
It's a good pick.
I know Kim Fields from others. She was in Cobra Kai, I believe.
Never done.
She Living Single, I remember her from. The Facts of Life a little bit before me, and you're younger than me, so the fact that you
By
pulled
a
that
good
was
bit,
great.
actually.
But like everyone knew,
Couple decades.
Tootie is in that pantheon of like you just say Urkel, you know what I mean, or like Uncle Jesse or whatever. You say this character's name out of context, and you know exactly who that is. You can see them in your mind's eye. I love this pick. And I don't think Kim Fields has gotten near the chances as an adult she probably would have gotten had she not been Tootie. But yeah, an unforgettable child actor of the late 70s, early 80s. I think it's a great, at 10, Jax, I would have probably had this higher personally, but I've not put as much thought into it as you have.
I'm not gonna lie, it was tricky for me.
Okay.
It was the breadth of work. Like I was really trying to. I love her so. I love her so much, and we'll get to another one of my actors on the list. But there's an actor that I wish that she could have worked with when they were growing up.
wow.
Oh my goodness, the two of them together would have been the cutest. I could scream just thinking about it.
Holding the work they did as an adult against them, or is it helping, or is it not involved?
It's not even in my
Great. I love
purview.
that.
Think
I
about
love
it.
that. I love that.
Quick question
Yeah,
about Kim
not even.
Fields. As you watched Kim Fields' performance as a child, would you have any notes for her?
Honestly, no. Like I thought what she was able to do is she was able to be very truthful and authentic, but still be playing this huge character. And I think, there's an evolution on what we like to see in like kids entertainment or in kid actors. Like for a while, the Disney Channel for me was a little bit too big and a little bit too broad. And I didn't love that. But she was able to be big without being broad. And I love her.
Do you think Jax is showing her hand a little bit that you're going to be disappointed with the lack of Disney child stars on this list?
No.
Okay. Because Bran's a big Disney child star.
I'm a big Disney child star, but I am a big enough person to acknowledge that maybe not the best of actors.
I think there's a couple on there.
There's a couple.
But I think that
There's
it's
a couple.
I can't wait.
And honestly, like it is a style thing. So they're still good actors.
I've got
It's just,
4
like,
in mind from the Disney Channel, and I'm fascinated. If they made your list, it's got to be one of those 4 that I have in mind. I can't imagine it being someone
excited
not
to
on
know
those
they
4,
are.
but
Find out.
I'm so excited. To
Really
find them.
solid number 10.
Number 10.
And I'm impressed that with your number 10, you don't have any notes. So that means no notes for any.
Yeah,
No
that
notes.
means no
Any
one's
other
going to have any
actors
notes.
on the
No,
from
no. Well,
Jax.
no notes. Yeah.
No
I
notes.
don't.
You
All
could
right.
be a little less home alone. Oh, what? Huh? No?
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Stop. Literally what I was thinking.
Don't you
Well, we'll
dare.
get to him. We'll get to that later. But yes.
Oh, you better believe we will. If he's not on
We
this
will.
list, we got a problem.
Yeah, we'll have a big problem. Let's get to number 9. Jax, number 9. Who do you have?
Number 9, I have Ron Howard.
Okay.
So adorable, Andy Griffith Show. This is a child actor that my dad talks about all the time. I love him on the Andy Griffith Show. I'm also really good friends with his daughter Paige, so she talks about him
drop.
being a kid actor.
Okay. All right. Who else you
She's
friends
adult-
with? You and Paige and Ela Fisher went out on the town. the other night.
No, but they're friends. No, but hearing what's really cool is hearing my dad talk about my friend's dad as a kid actor, and him being like, I loved watching him as a kid. I think the Andy Griffith Show was really wholesome. I think Ron was really, really cute in it. He's had a great career after, but again, I didn't take any of that into consideration. Just that he is cute as a gosh darn button, and I think he was the best part of the Andy Griffith Show.
Well, I mean,
Have you ever
Don
met- have you
Knotts,
ever met
how
him?
dare? First of all, Don Knotts,
Yeah.
how dare you?
Hold
First
on,
of all,
she's met him.
Don Knotts is the best part of the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, that is true.
Well, okay, Don Knotts is great. He is.
Come on.
Actually, he is. No, actually, he is. You're right.
Barney
You're right.
Fife?
The little face, like the faces. You're
Andy.
right. He is great. He
Yeah.
is right. He is
Okay.
great.
Sorry, go
He is
back to
great.
Ron. Have you met Ron Howard?
You've met Ron Howard.
Yes, he had for a movie that's coming out. He had a screening, and some of us got to go and give feedback on the movie.
Oh,
It's a movie
wow.
coming out with Sydney Sweeney.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
Wow.
This was a while ago. He's really good about taking notes and it was really fun. We're not but we don't go out and hang out together.
Yeah.
It was
Yet.
just
He
through
still
Paige.
wears the baseball cap all the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he still has this thing about him that's like.
I think that's the thing that's so impressive about Ron Howard is amazing child actor, incredible director.
Incredible director.
Just the a lot of child actors, they stay actors and they just keep working as actors, which is great. But to see somebody kind of work as a child actor for so long and then be like, you know what, I think I have a vision, is
and
really
to make
impressive.
great movies. I mean, like A Beautiful
Yeah.
Mind. Rush is a really underrated movie. He's made some. I mean, Cocoon. I'm pretty sure he directed Cocoon. Like he's made some really great movies. Here's my thing with Ron Howard. Opie Taylor's undeniable. Like undeniable, great performer.
We love the Opie.
But when you said Ron Howard, I was like, yeah, Opie Taylor and Richie Cunningham from Happy Days. But he was actually an adult when he played Richie
Yes,
Cunningham.
that's
Happy
what was
Days.
tricky for me. Same.
Yeah.
And I was like, but he had a youthful energy.
He did. He's playing a high school kid too. Like if you would have asked me, I'd have said Ron Howard was maybe 15 when he was Richie Cunningham.
Same. I actually looked this up because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, can I count that?
Yeah.
And I was
Interesting.
like, it's tricky. It's
But he's
tricky.
so good as the Andy Griffith. And Andy Griffith show is it was on for 1,000 seasons. I mean, it was on forever. What do you think about this?
I think it's a really good pick.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Could be higher.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where the rest of the list goes. Obviously, Ron Howard is
That's
one of the
royalty
first
there.
names you kind of think of when
Yeah.
you think of child actor, and so to see him at 9 is a bit shocking, and it just makes my mind wonder what is to come. And so,
What's to come?
what
You know
is
what
to come?
I'm starting to gather is that so far these people, there's not a one-hit wonder.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Kim Fields went to Living Single. Ron Howard went to Happy Days. So, like, I'm fascinated to see if she's going to give credit to somebody who was in one big thing and then didn't do anything else ever. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's do one more and then we'll
One
take a break. So
more?
let's do number 8.
Uno
What do you
mas.
have?
I love it.
So this is one that I was alluding to that I just would have been tickled pink to have seen Kim Fields act with this young actress, Drew Barrymore in E.T.
Come on.
Are you kidding me?
Amazing.
Like,
She's unbelievable.
unbelievable. And look, she's America's sweetheart now. I think she's a delight. But not only her work in ET, but have you guys seen the SNL episode where she hosted?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I've
mean,
seen bits of it.
just get out of here. Get out of here with that right now. There's something about her at this age, and she's so young that it's one of those things that you can teach them, you can shape certain things, but she has an emotional depth and a way of expressing it that cannot be taught. She is very gifted, and of course, she's from an acting family. Like, it's in her blood, it's in her DNA.
Man.
Yeah. Have you ever met her, and how close did she get to your face?
Oh my gosh, I've never met her. My sister and I went to see her show, so we were breathing the same air.
Sure.
But what I would give to meet Drew Barrymore, and everyone just says she's the sweetest person.
Can I?
So beautiful.
You
Yes.
all right?
That's Drew Barrymore.
Can I tell
On our
you
talk show.
why Drew Barrymore? Thank you. That's really good. That's a good
Oh my
name.
God,
You
that
wouldn't
is
like
her.
it.
That is
You
her.
wouldn't like
I
being on the
wouldn't.
Drew Barrymore show.
I don't
It would
think
make
so.
you uncomfortable.
You'd be good on.
Can
the
I
Drew
tell you why
Barrymore
Drew
show.
Barrymore might be my number one?
Whoa.
It's because, first of all, E.T., she is a marvel. But have you seen Firestarter?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. She
Yeah.
did those two movies back to back before she's what, 7?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Holy cow.
She sure did.
I think you could make a case that Drew Barrymore was as good a child actor before the age of 8 as anyone has ever been. She is amazing. We got a problem on our hands because
have a
all
problem.
3 of these, I'm like, they could be higher. So I'm fascinated where we're going.
You watch child Drew Barrymore act, and you're like, this is just who she is. Like, she was.
Oh my
born,
gosh.
She was born to be a performer, born to be an actor.
Born
Unbelievable.
for this.
So, not surprised to see her on the list. Surprised to see her at 8. I think.
Man, 8.
Here's the thing. This is what's hard for me. You guys are gonna get no argument from me that
Ever.
these people
Yeah,
should be higher.
Of course not. Well, I respect nothing less. You want to fly out of Newark. I like
She likes Newark. It's her
that's the best way to describe Jax is she's cool with flying out of Newark.
Preference.
I'm just that girl.
Here's the thing is
She's a Newark
Kim
girl.
Fields. I think Ron Howard is better than Kim Fields, and I think as a child actor, and I think Drew Barrymore is better than Ron Howard. So far, even though I'm like, man, I feel like they should be higher. If you asked me to rank these 3, this is the order I would have them in. So I just don't. We got 7 left, and I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is tough.
It's gonna get crazy.
Let's take a little time to think about it. We're gonna take a
love
break. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna get to some more of Jack's favorite child actors here on the Diss List. With Bran Dan.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back
The
to
people
the
in the
Diss List.
studio love that.
They did
loved
love
that
that.
version. They were on their feet. They were clapping. It was
Yeah.
great.
Go. Let's
Good
go.
time. Yep.
Go.
You can sit down there. Sit on down.
Sit on down.
That's right.
We don't need it.
There we go.
Oh!
Hey!
No! Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about best child actors today. We've got quite the showing so far from Jax. Child actor coach. Actor
Former
herself.
acting
Former child
podcast
actor.
host. She acted in the Bubbly Sesh. It was
Really
great.
very qualified to be making this
I was
list.
always telling the truth
Very
Yeah.
qualified.
with a lens.
Kim Fields at 10, Ron Howard at 9, Drew Barrymore at 8. That brings us to 7. Jax, who do you got?
Okay, so again, this is just again an embarrassment of riches. I feel bad putting these people in the bottom half of my list. Gary Coleman.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the highest paid child actor through the 70s and the 80s. He was on Facts of Life. He appeared in 2 episodes of that. But of course, like, look, he literally he had the Gary Coleman show, the Jeffersons. Like he did it all.
Arnold Willis, Mr. Drummond. I mean,
What you talking about, Willis?
what you talking about, Willis?
Like, what
on.
you talking about, Willis?
I mean, as a kid, people said that on the playground every day. Every day.
And the control he had over his face, like just the facial
Yes.
expressions, is a really tough thing to
Ran
teach.
for governor of California.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's unfortunate.
That's right.
But that
He-
wasn't as
And
a
had a
child
pretty
actor.
tragic
Different
adult
strokes,
life.
baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say there was a documentary that came out, I want to say last year, about him, and I wanted to watch it. I just never got around to it. And this reminded me, so I gotta go check it out.
I wanted to watch it too. I felt like it might be too sad.
I don't
and
think it's
here's
going
the
to be
thing,
an uplifting one.
No.
No.
And here's the thing, like, obviously, you know, everything he did on Different Strokes, like, launched him into stardom. I actually, like, I watched Different Strokes a little bit, but he wasn't, like, someone like Kim Fields or Drew Barrymore that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with. But he's, oh my gosh, that's the cutest picture of him. I just saw that. I mean, but he's incredible. And I think really just, as you're talking about with the whole, you know, what you're talking about, Willis on the playground, like, he created culture.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because everybody else on this list so far has like an oeuvre, like has like a, you know, has a pretty wide breadth of what they've accomplished. Whereas I can picture Gary Coleman as a child actor doing the only thing I know that he knew how to do. And
Yes.
that is tough for me because what he did was iconic. But
Yeah.
these other 3, that's tough. But if you ask people to list child actors, he's going to be near the top of most people's lists because of what you're talking about, Willis.
I know.
I mean, like, you can't get around that. It's undeniable.
I'd be shocked to find a list that he's not on.
Yes, he has
Yeah.
to
For
be on the
sure.
list.
Yeah. He's like on every, like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is hard. This is when you said you want to do this, I was like, of course, this makes sense. She coaches kids. But now, this is very, very hard. Very hard.
It's so hard. When I was thinking about it, I was like, I could make a list of 100, and there are lists of hundreds. Like there's like
don't
a
have time for
VH1 created 100 child actor list,
No, well, you're doing the definitive 10, and then we're going to mess with it and make the definitive
and I'm
1.
excited because I need this. This was too much pressure. I need this off my
I
plate.
understand. Number 6.
Number 6. Look, this might be a little bit more for me, but let me tell you, there's
Here come the
also
excuses.
she was my queer awakening. Tatum O'Neal, baby, in Paper Moon and Bad News Bears. Also,
yeah.
the youngest person to ever win a competitive Academy Award. Like, look at her in her little suit. Oh, come on. Bad News Bears, I remember watching it as a kid, and I was like, it was like the Wicked, What Is This Feeling? Like, that was the song that was playing in my head, even though it wasn't created yet.
When Bad News Bears. Oh, your queer awakening. Okay, now it makes
My
sense.
queer
I was like,
awakening. And also the song, Bring It.
on screen. What does it mean to me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Brandon is going to be playing Jax in the new musical Jax's Queer Awakening. It's a weird casting, but
I actually think he gets my joie de vivre.
Awakening. I can do this all day. We could have a whole fun thing, and we're only
We
using
should.
the Wicked music, which is really weird for the musical.
That is
but
weird.
I think we're gonna get sued. But
I think we probably
it's
are.
really good. I don't really have much to say about this. I'm not super familiar with Tatum O'Neal's work.
So this is someone that I wouldn't have included on this list, and I probably would have been wrong. You're right. The Academy Award winning child. You
hard
don't
to
get
argue with
say
that.
often. And then Bad News Bears is a classic. Walter Matthau, Tatum O'Neal, they're both so good in that movie. I remember how good they are because when they remade it with Billy Bob Thornton, I watched it. I was like, this movie sucks. I bet the original sucks too. And it's like, no, when you have Tatum O'Neal and Walter Matthau, it's hard to make a bad
It's
movie.
Billy Bob.
And Billy Bob's, I'm a
I know
Billy
you're-
Bob Thornton
I-
fan.
listen.
I can't do the impression without cussing here, and I
Yeah.
don't think we're doing that
Well,
on
I
this
don't
show.
think so.
But yeah, if Billy Bob gets to cook, Billy Bob gets
Let-
to cook.
let
but
Billy Bob
but
cook.
they're not going to let Billy Bob cook coaching a little league team.
Yeah,
they're not
that's
going to let him cook. And he needs to cook. He can't go.
He needs
like,
to cook.
He
Let
can't
him
go on a
cook.
low burner. He can't go on the warmer. Billy
No,
Bob's
he'll
either
never
gotta
be able to
cook-
boil.
No.
We need a Billy Bob boil.
You got to Billy Bob boil it. There's no
Billy
way
Bob
around
boil.
it. You got to Billy Bob boil it.
Billy Bob boil.
Yeah, maybe on the socials we can bleep out my Billy Bob Thornton impression because I
think-
love it. It's a really good
That was
impression.
good.
I think
was
that what's going to and I'm just going to give you the heads up here. I think of the names on here so far, Tatum O'Neal is probably the one that is probably going to be affecting my list so
It was
far.
your career awakening. You know
I know,
that,
and I
right?
don't want
Okay.
to. I'm not taking anything away from your career awakening, and I think the
sounds
song
like you
proves
are.
it. I wrote a song.
You even said queer just now, which is a weird thing.
Yeah,
to
it
do.
was a personal choice I made too. It was. Thanks for picking up on that. I'm interested to see where this goes. But I'm just giving you the heads up. Ahead of time.
Here's my problem right now, Jax. Is there are 5 names that I feel like need to be on this list, and you've mentioned none of them yet. And the other problem with that is that the 5 you've mentioned, I think, also need to be on here. And so we're at a bit of an impasse
we're in
here.
a tough spot here.
But so far,
I'm actually so excited to hear your guys because
Well,
this is.
Dan
I'm
won't
learning-
shut up about Miranda Cosgrove. He won't shut up about Miranda
Listen,
Cosgrove.
She is a delight. I
No.
will say.
Delight.
Whatever. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. That better not be in the next 5.
No,
But
no.
what I can tell you is, I think the big surprise to me, Jackson, it shouldn't be considering the names is that you and Bran are close in age. I'm older. I'm shocked at how all of these are from basically pre-1985.
Well, and Jax is younger than me, and so I'm also I'm shocked about all these.
That's
so
right.
far.
So
Well,
so far, that's
I feel
the big
like the
surprise.
stuff I watched was always like I was watching Moonlighting with my mom. My mom was. We were always watching things that were a little bit. We weren't cool. We weren't cutting edge. Let's be real. I
were in a
wasn't
coal
allowed. I think
mining
I told-
town. You didn't
I
have
was
to
in
be.
coal mine. I wasn't allowed to watch. I think I've mentioned this on here. Clarissa Explains It All because she explained too much. Like we weren't allowed to do that.
But you were
stuff.
allowed to watch Moonlighting? What is
Yeah.
that?
Look,
What?
Mom? If you're listening, it didn't always make sense, but I love you.
Yeah, that's a trade-off there. Clarissa Explains It All, not in your life. Moonlighting, absolutely. Kid appropriate. TVY7, I believe.
I don't want someone to explain it all.
That's right.
much.
Clarissa explained some of it.
Yeah, a bit.
In
a
vague
bit.
terms.
Just enough.
Yeah, in vague terms.
An age appropriate amount.
Clarissa explains just enough. Funny. Funny.
Just enough.
Yeah, I like that.
SNL call us. You can
All
have
right,
that.
I know.
we're in like these are some heavy hitters to not be in the top 5. I'll say that. And I also have a bunch of names left on my list that I just feel like the way this list is themed so far aren't going to make it, and I'm fascinated to see where we go from here. This is so much fun. We should do
very
this
excited.
every week.
Well, we'll see.
Yes, please. Invite me back again.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see what the next 5
All right.
look like. Let's go
Okay.
to number 5. What do you got?
Number 5, Raven Simone.
Yeah.
Are
Yes.
you kidding me?
Yeah, there we go.
Cosby Show,
so
Hanging with
Raven.
Mr. Cooper, and of course, That's
So
So
Raven.
Raven. Look, a gosh darn delight.
One of the best of all time.
One of the best of all time. Also in Dr. Dolittle, Princess Diaries 2, bunch
Yeah.
of things. But Raven Simone all day long. And look, at the end of the day, not that it should matter if you're cute, it's your talent and stuff, but I'm sorry. Look at that face.
It's unbelievable.
Look at that face.
I'm serious. One of the more underrated child actor performances is her on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I was a TGIF fan during that time, and she is consistently great. And that's That's So Raven. She's consistently great. Adorable in The Cosby Show. And then she does That's So Raven, which is what she's probably most known for. This is a top 5 no-brainer. This is an absolute top 5 no-brainer. The breadth of work here is undeniable, Brandon.
Unbelievable. And I got to be honest, like the comedic chops of a young Raven is incredible.
Oh, my goodness.
Like to see her go toe to toe with Bill Cosby in The Cosby Show as far as comedy goes is
Yeah.
as good as it gets.
Yes.
Like really funny. And to see her be able to like stand her own with that is
As a 4-year-old
is
or whatever,
crazy.
like she was so
yeah,
young.
like truly hold her own, if not like outshine.
Yes, yes.
is crazy. It's crazy.
One of the few times they add a child actor to a sitcom late in its run and it doesn't jump the shark. Like they added her late in that run and it popped. She was so funny. And then Hanging with Mr. Cooper, her and Mark Curry, that dynamic. I talk about Hanging with Mr. Cooper for my job more than I
Almost
ever thought.
nonstop.
It's a great show.
I love that show. And nobody ever talks about it but me. So I'm thrilled that Raven Simone's on the list.
Incredible. All right. This is good so far.
This is really tough. But it's getting real. It's getting real. One more than our last break for the. No. We're gonna do two more, and then we'll do top two, and then we'll make our list. Right?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Okay, number 4.
Here we go.
Okay, here's the thing. This one was tricky, and I had my reasons.
Okay.
The breadth of work isn't there.
Sounds
I'll
like
say
I'm
that.
taking this one off the list.
It's not even like the range is there, but this kid had, from what I've seen, the best audition that I've ever seen, kid or adult. I think about it all the time. Henry Thomas, E.T. He won numerous awards for E.T. and his audition tape for that is some of the best acting I've ever seen. I think about this audition tape once every 3 weeks. It is incredible.
So you got Elliot from E.T. Ahead of Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you seen the audition tape?
No, because it's not something that was made available on a big screen or a small screen.
I'm telling you, like, I actually think his work in that movie is
Jax.
incredible.
I mean, I'm going to have to take your word for it, but I can't do this off of an audition tape.
No. It's not just the audition tape. It's not just the audition tape. I think about that every.
I didn't have
3
this.
weeks.
I didn't have this. I didn't have Henry Thomas anywhere.
He won.
I have Thomas Ian Nicholas higher than Henry Thomas. Can I get a shout out for Rookie of the Year? Kid and King Arts Court.
Is he the one that I think is hot? Honestly, I had the kids all so young. The only one that I thought of was hot was Tatum O'Neal, but she was older, and I was really thinking about Paper Moon. So I never found these people hot. I just want to, even when
of course.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
No, but he won a
Rookie
Golden
of the Year was
Globe.
hot.
But Rookie
You
of the Year was
right.
hot, and that's right. And you would have been younger than Rookie of the Year.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas
But
Ian Nicholas.
okay, so he got the Young Artist Award, and he got Golden Globe, BAFTA, and Saturn Award nominations. I mean,
No, I listen. Your argument is not a bad argument. It's just I didn't even have him on my radar for this list. Man, I think the audition tape's the difference there. Brain, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
okay, E.T. I think was one of the most pivotal movies of our childhood, and he's number 1 in the call sheet.
He's number 1 in the call sheet on one of the, if not the best kids movie ever made.
Yeah.
So there is something to be said for that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at these other names.
For what it's worth, I've heard about the audition tape. So
must be
word
I've
of it has
traveled
not outside of the coaching community. So that's I don't know if that's worth anything, but this is an interesting one. I just think performance alone, Jax. Drew Barrymore's giving a better performance than E.T.
In E.T.?
Yeah. And in Firestarter? Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I would suggest that you rewatch E.T.
Okay. Fair. That's
Okay.
fair. You're
When
supposed
he
to-
has to say goodbye to E.T. and when E.T.'s sick, like I'm telling you, it's not that Drew Barrymore, I can't even look at it as better or what. It's just that he has a lot more to do in that movie, and that movie is iconic.
Wow.
Can our kids?
But
watch
I'm
E.T.?
happy
It's been
to
a
be
minute.
persuaded.
I've been thinking about when to show my kids E.T. for a long time because
Now's the time.
It's a tricky one.
Now is the time.
I remember I didn't watch that movie till I was 10 years old. So it was 1993 when I watched that movie. And it's the first time I ever cried watching a movie. It's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
Are you crying right now, Jax?
No, honestly,
I'm crying about Henry Thomas
sort
being
of
fourth on this list. I can tell you that right now.
No, we can move him.
Okay.
We will move him.
There we go.
We will move
Good
him.
to know.
We can
We
move.
can. We will.
We can and
We
we
can.
will.
We will.
Here we go.
Stand by. All right. Let's do one more and then we'll take a break.
One more, then we'll take a break.
Number 3.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like he's
You think
never
he's
won a
won,
particular.
I don't know.
You have lost your mind. I take that back.
I think who's number 1 is like pretty much like.
You have a case for one with him. I forgot.
I
It's on
definitely-
me.
I definitely know.
You're right. I'm
Well,
wrong on this. Okay. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
know someone I left. I know 2 people I left off for sure. Macaulay Culkin. He never really enchanted me that much, but he's a great actor and he led a franchise. And again, much like Gary Coleman, he created culture.
Yes, that's right. But
You know what I'm saying?
But he wasn't just in the
I'm
Home
gonna
Alone
need you
movies.
to commit to that though. Could you?
Yeah. Can we do one more
time
take?
and
Jax
just live in
being
that
Kevin
a little bit?
McAllister from Home Alone, putting the aftershave on and action.
Oh, is he? How does he do it?
Yep. And then
Ah!
That
Is that
was
too loud?
great.
Wow.
That was great.
it was too loud, but it was worth it.
Great. Really good stuff.
You can't
I
tell
love
that
it.
you can't tell the microphone to turn down.
No, you can't.
I
Turn
know I
your
can't.
radio
Sorry, and
down,
I
you can do
can't. I
that.
can't. I can't adjust my performance. I just have to go for it. You know.
You know what? I've been thinking a lot about Mac since we went and saw him live.
Yes.
And
Oh my
getting
gosh, how was that? I didn't even ask.
It was a fascinating experience.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
But watching that movie on a big screen with a giant
house.
theater
Yeah.
full of people was an amazing experience. And just watching him do his stuff, like for a large part of that movie is just Macaulay Culkin on screen. And that's really impressive to see this kid be able to do some crazy impressive reactions and line reads that are just like so funny because of the way that he says it. It's just really impressive.
Yeah.
It's really
and he
impressive.
plays off of Joe Pesci
Yeah.
and Daniel Stern. I mean, these are heavy hitters. Like, Catherine O'Hara. Like, here's my thing is my case for him at one, which I don't think he's one, but my case for him at one is he wasn't just Home Alone. Richie Rich, The Good Son, which is a horror movie.
Oh yeah, The Good Son is great.
My girl.
My Girl. Getting
Oh, when he
Even with
talks about the
Dad.
glasses?
Yeah. So like, but my case
Yeah.
for him not at one is that he kind of does a similar thing in all of those movies.
Just one note. Yeah.
And I think at one it can't be one note. But tell me he wasn't the child actor of my childhood. That every year there's a 4-year span where he came out with 6 movies. That's probably why he had to stop acting and all, unfortunately. But I mean, Home Alone 2, Richie Rich, Good Son, Getting Even with Dad, My Girl. Like there was a half a decade where this dude was untouchable. I mean,
Yes.
Uncle Buck, freaking
Oh,
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck.
Yeah,
I
forgot
mean,
about Uncle Buck.
This guy deserves to be on this list, and he also deserves to be in the top 5. So I'm happy he's there. I see the case for one. I don't think I'm with you, but
We'll see. I don't know where I'm going
But
yet.
yeah, I mean, this is a non-negotiable for me. He had to be on this list, and I'm glad he's on the list.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's take a quick break.
I love
we'll
that.
come back and we'll get to Jack's top 2
Top 2. It's
child
getting real.
actors here on the Diss List. With Bran Dan. Yeah. All right, guys, sit down.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Thanks.
Shout out to the studio band.
The studio band, Dissless
incredible. Danny Wiseman
DL and the Night
the Big
Swimmers.
7. Incredible work by them.
Really good
today.
stuff. Hey, Brand, this has been a fun one so
It
far.
has been a fun one.
Can you recap the 8 she's given us so far before we get to the big review?
I can absolutely. Top 8 best child actors. 10 Kim Fields. 9 Ron Howard. 8 Drew Barrymore. 7 Gary Coleman. 6 Tatum O'Neal. 5 Raven Simone. 4 Henry Thomas. And 3 The Mac is back, Macaulay Culkin.
Return of the
That
Mac.
gets us to number 2.
All right, Jax. Number 2, best child actors of all time.
This is
I
big.
suspect that I botched this because I was being led by, after the Tatum O'Neal Queer Awakening.
Oh boy.
This was not only this was like a just me being queer, but also me wanting to be this kind of actor. Okay. It's Natalie Portman because of The Professional and Heat.
Oh my
and
God.
she was so good in The Professional, and I remember just being like, oh,
Luc Besson's
Wow.
The Professional. Great movie,
Yeah.
and she's unbelievable in it. You're right.
she's so good. Yeah, I mean, she was just incredibly compelling in The Professional in a way that I was like, how is she even doing this? And it was all so authentic, and there was such range. I just think she's incredible.
So, what's weird here is that when the Phantom Menace was released, she was 17 years old. So she turned 18 in June of '99, and so she filmed all of a Star Wars movie as a child actor as well.
Does that affect things for
That's
you?
huge,
I didn't even think
because
about that.
When I saw her on the screen, I thought of The Professional, and then I thought of all the good stuff she's done, like Black Swan and Closer and stuff like that. So, like, for me, I was negatively affected on her ranking on this list by the work she's done as an adult. But
Yes.
to be on a Luc Besson set, to be on a Star Wars set, you mentioned, what was the other one you mentioned? The Professional?
Heat.
Oh, yeah, and a Michael Mann set. I mean, these are, gosh, man. This is so hard. This is so hard, Jax, because she's amazing.
She's so amazing. She's so amazing.
I didn't even think about her. Oh my gosh.
She's so amazing.
I haven't seen The Professional, so this is tricky for me. I have seen Phantom Menace. You know I have. And I obviously I think Natalie Portman is a talented actor. So I have no reason to think that she wouldn't have been great as a child acting, but it's tough for me as someone who hasn't seen the work of the child, if you will.
The work of the child. That's right. Yeah.
For me to stick at a number 2, I think is going to be an uphill battle. But I also got to play the game within the game limits, and we'll see how.
You got
it
to play
goes.
the game within the game limits. That's what we say around here on the disc list. Rolls off the tongue.
It does.
DL in the nighttime swimmers, I believe, is what we said over there.
In the Phantom 7.
In the Phantom. That's right. Yes.
A great group.
Great group. They're unbelievable.
The horn players nuts.
Dude, you should hear
guys
them
can't
jam
see it.
in
We
the
should get a
commercials. The jam.
camera. I don't know why we don't have them on a
man,
camera,
that's
but
unbelievable.
really good. All right, that gets us to number 1.
Who do you guys think I have here?
I don't want to say, because I don't want to show my hand for who I would like to see on this list, and maybe we'll put on the list. But I think there are. Did you have any? No, don't give us honorable mentions. I don't want that until after we give you our list. If you had any that didn't quite make the list,
I had 2
Don't tell me.
that didn't make it
Okay.
because of personal preference.
Okay, got it.
But I know probably should be on the list.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, number 1. Let us know.
Here it is.
Dakota Fanning.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, look at her. Look at this little dumpling. Like I Am Sam.
Look
Are you
at
kidding
her.
me?
Yeah.
The Secret Life of Bees. What? Like she did before she was, I don't even know how old, 13, had the filmography that any actor would be proud of when they're in their, like, when they're done with their career. She is an incredible actress with emotional range and depth. I don't really follow much of what she's doing now. I know she said she's prioritizing her kids and her family and everything like that. But because we're just looking at, of course, this work as a child, I mean, I just don't think, I think she kind of just blows everyone out of the water, not with how good she is necessarily, but with what she was given the opportunity to do. Do I think Drew Barrymore could have done all of that? Absolutely, but she didn't get to do that. So going off of what we have, it's Dakota Fanning for number 1.
So you didn't even mention Man on Fire, which
Man on Fire,
Tony
yes.
Scott directed, Denzel Washington film, before the Twilight series, which she may have been still a child for the Twilight series. I'm
She
not sure.
was.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So
I think she was.
I mean, this is just an embarrassment of riches here. And she had to be on this list. I'm with you. I did not have her at 1, but she had to be on this list. And you make a really solid case for her being 1. But just like Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Raven Simone, if you've not checked out Man on Fire, you should go watch that movie and watch her in it. She's unbelievable. And the movie is a lot of fun, but she's great. Oh my God. What a
Dan,
great
just
pick
so you
here.
know, she was 15 in the Twilight.
That's crazy.
movies.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
She's a marvel,
Wild.
wonderful performer, and I'm not surprised to see her on the list. Just, maybe surprised to see her at 1, but I don't think too high. I don't think it's too high. I think this is really tough. This is a very tough list. I want to say, first of all, you've given us a great head start. I think this list, as is a commendable list. I think it's a list that should be applauded and
Thank you so much.
an attagirls.
Would-
But
would you tell me if it wasn't? Yeah, you would let me
Of course,
know.
we've seen some bad lists. I think that this is going to be a tough job. Now, at this point, here's
Really
what's going to
tough.
happen.
Yeah.
Dan and I get to think a little bit and make some changes. We get to do up to 2 swaps, so we can say number 10 is now number 8 and vice versa. And then we can do up to 2 get out of here's putting one in. So
That's
we can replace a name altogether. And if needed, that replacement can also be swapped up and down depending.
Got you.
Lots to think about here. Dan, have you given it the thought that is deserved? Do you feel good about it?
Yeah, I don't feel great about it because either Kim Fields or Ron Howard's not making my list, and I think that's crazy talk. But at this point, Kim Fields is not going to make my list.
Wow.
Kim Fields is not going to make my list, and in place of Kim Fields, I'm going to put Emma Watson.
Okay.
Emma Watson, who, all of those Harry Potter movies, most of them are when she's a kid, and we talked about this before we went on air. Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint have to work their way into their roles. They're not, even you would admit, Jax, on video, you can see it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Jax would even say, like, they're great now. Daniel Radcliffe, great now. The weight of what Emma Watson is doing in the Harry Potter films is unbelievable. And then Perks of Being a Wallflower, was she an adult then? That was very close. I just thought she was a natural choice there. And instead of having to switch it made more sense to just put her in at 10 and take Kim Fields out, because I think what she's done is what she did as a child actor is monumental, even though it was one note. I have Emma Watson on the list.
So she was an adult for Perks Being Wallflower. She was 22. Guys, I haven't seen any of the Harry Potters.
You haven't seen any of the Harry Potters?
I haven't read. It's not my jam. And that was before J.K. Rowling was a TERF. It's not my jam.
Fair. I'm glad.
No, it's really not my jam.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified there that it was not your jam.
It wasn't out of a sense of justice, but now I can pretend like it was all along.
Yeah.
Right.
So the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking Gary Coleman and I'm moving him down to 9, and I'm moving Ron Howard up to 7. Okay, so I'm moving Ron Howard up to 7, Gary Coleman down to 9. Okay, so that means 10 is Emma Watson, 9 is Gary Coleman. Okay, 8. This is so hard. So 8. Where did I have? Okay, so 8 I have. All right, I'm doing a replace and a switch. So 8 I have Lindsay Lohan at 8.
Okay.
I think Lindsay.
She was tough. That was tough. Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan has to be on this list. I think she has to be on this list. I think, forget the fact that she did some remakes that were amazing. She's in DComs that give DComs a good name, but I'm talking about her child stardom was something special. And I'm flipping her with Tatum O'Neal. So I now have. If I do, no, I can't do that. I gotta make Tatum O'Neal 8. I gotta keep Lindsay Lohan at 8, because if not, then my number 1 gets messed up. So I got Lindsay Lohan at 8. I have Ron Howard at 7 because I switched those two. Then I have Tatum O'Neal at 6. That's what I have.
Okay.
So Emma Watson, Gary Coleman, Lindsay Lohan, Ron Howard, Tatum O'Neal. I got Raven still at 5.
Okay.
Time out. Yeah. Okay. I got Raven still at 5. And then at 4, I've replaced Henry Thomas. I've already done my 2 replace. Man, I am all kinds.
Do you need time? Because I'm done.
Go.
Okay,
man,
are you ready?
I messed up somewhere along the way.
So I do have 2 replaces here, and I'll say this: these 2 child actors that I'm going to add to this list, to me, when I think of child actors, I think that very popular child actors. I think of these child actors that embody the characters in which they're playing, and you're like, this person is this person. Okay, so this kid is this person, and that's what I think of when I think of them. So keep that in mind as I get to the replacements. 10, I'm keeping Kim Fields. 9, I'm keeping Ron Howard. 8, I am going to swap Natalie Portman and Drew Barrymore. So Natalie Portman is now 8, and Drew Barrymore will now be 2.
Okay.
7, I'm going to keep Gary Coleman. Number 6, I'm getting rid of Tatum O'Neal. Not because I am a TERF. or I don't really know what that means.
Nope.
But
Nope.
okay, I heard it and I just wanted to try it. I wanted to try my hand
Did
at
not
it.
work
Okay,
well for you at all there.
Not because I am against everything that you
Wait,
said.
wait,
about
wait. We
Tatum.
actually should clarify what TERF is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, trans-exclusive radical feminist.
Okay, so it doesn't
So
actually
you
apply to here
exclude-
at all.
Not even a little bit.
You exclude
right.
trans women
Yes.
from your feminism. That's what that is.
Oh, I see. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I'm no.
And I
So
know you don't do that, Bran.
I don't at all. No,
No.
I heard everything you said about Tatum O'Neal. I'm just not familiar with Tatum O'Neal. So
Yeah,
for
that's
that
fair.
reason, I took Tatum O'Neal out, and I'm going to replace Tatum O'Neal with Mara Wilson, Matilda of Matilda fame.
Interesting.
Because she had a window there in the 90s where she was in like 3 or 4 smash hits, and she just she's Matilda and crushed it. And I just thought that obviously didn't have the fame of a Macaulay Culkin, but had a few years there where she was everywhere. She was the child actor. So I'm going Mara Wilson. 5, I am going to for now keep as Raven Simone. Number 4, I'm getting rid of Henry Thomas and I'm replacing with Fred Savage.
Good God.
Fred Savage. And then I'm going to swap and I'm going to make Raven Simone 4, Fred Savage 5 is what I'm doing there. 3, Macaulay Culkin. 2, as I said, is now Drew Barrymore. Number 1, Dakota Fanning. So once again, Kim Fields at 10, Ron Howard 9, Natalie Portman 8, Gary Coleman 7, Mara Wilson 6, Fred Savage 5, Raven Simone 4, Macaulay Culkin 3, Drew Barrymore 2, Dakota Fanning 1. That's my list.
I love it. So here's what I did is I switched Drew Barrymore and Dakota Fanning. So 1 and 8, I switched. But then once Fanning went to 8, then I switched her again to get her to 6 and moved Tatum O'Neal down to 8. Then I just did 2 straight replacements. So here's my list. 10, Emma Watson. 9, Ron Howard. 8, Tatum O'Neal. 7, Gary Coleman. 6, Dakota Fanning. 5, Raven Simone. 4, Lindsay Lohan. 3, Macaulay Culkin. 2, Natalie Portman. 1, Drew Barrymore. That's my list. I'm really happy with that list. I feel like it worked out really well. And Fred Savage, are you kidding me?
Love Fred.
Who are your honorable mentions?
So there's no way that I could take both, that I could combine the list in the way that I want them.
Nope. You got to
Your
choose
list,
one of those
because-
2, and one of those lists has Fred Savage on it, Jackson.
Well, of course I want to. I think Bran's list is overall better, but I hate having
You
Fred
can't have Fred
Savage in there
Savage on this
instead of
list.
Lindsay
Are you kidding me?
Lohan.
Frenzy. Fred Savage was a star as a child of a long-running TV show, and also is the child from A Princess Bride. So good freaking luck.
Lindsay
Good
Lohan.
No, the thing
freaking
is,
luck.
the thing is, I don't
The
really,
Lohan
I don't think I love Fred Savage now. I forget, but like I
don't
can't think
any
about that.
Of us do. I think we.
I
have
can't think about that. And I love Lindsay Lohan, but I actually think Lindsay Lohan and Fred Savage are scratching the exact same itch of the range we got to see, which is like incredible actors, like being funny, having depth, but like doing that thing in like Parent Trap and in Wonder Years. Ooh, this is really tricky. Can you say the list one more time?
Sure.
Go for it.
Sure. My list is 10, Kim Fields. 9, Ron Howard. 8, Natalie Portman. 7, Gary Coleman. 6, Mara Wilson. 5, Raven Simone. Nope, sorry, Fred Savage. 4, Raven Simone. 3, Macaulay Culkin. 2, Drew Barrymore. 1, Dakota Fanning.
The other thing is Bran took out your Queer Awakening Tatum O'Neal. That was
He
the
did-
thing.
he
I was
did.
like, who did he replace that I didn't replace? Because I took
He
out Kim
did.
Fields.
It's
Right,
not just about
but
my
my
queer awakening. It's about the
reasoning-
fact that she like did
She's an Oscar
paper.
winner.
She did real movies.
Yeah. So
Sure, I
I
know.
understand your reasoning though.
I understand.
You'd not seen her.
Yeah, so it was a really tough
All right.
spot for me.
Mine is 10, Emma Watson. 9, Ron Howard. 8, Tatum O'Neal. 7, Gary Coleman. 6, Dakota Fanning. 5, Raven Simone. 4, Lindsay Lohan. 3, Macaulay Culkin. 2, Natalie Portman. 1, Drew Barrymore. Man, Don't envy you, Jax.
I think it's just so tricky, Dan, because to put Drew Barrymore before Dakota Fanning
It's
with
tough
the
in your book, huh?
filmography of it all, it's kind of like you can't. I just can't.
Wow. Okay.
In good conscience,
I feel it's too low.
do
Dakota
that. I don't
Fanning all the way to
think-
6. It's tough. I was hamstrung there. I think Dakota Fanning would normally be probably 2 or 3 for me, but I was hamstrung with my limitations of how many I can switch, and that was the only way to make it work to where something crazy would happen.
Wait, so wait.
So either your list has to include Dakota Fanning all the way at 6, or has to include no Tatum O'Neal. That's basically what you're choosing between.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like, oh man, like I also in my head, as we were talking, there were 2 that I was extremely willing to part with entirely.
Okay.
And I was expecting that to kind of shake things up a little, and it didn't. Like,
What
I
were
was
the
willing
2?
to part. Henry Thomas, I was fine getting
Yep.
rid of, and I was actually okay with getting rid of Ron Howard. But then when it didn't shake out like that, I kind of
Did we
was a
both
little
get rid
bit-
of Henry Thomas? We both got rid of him.
Yeah, which I was
Yes,
fine with.
yes.
You convinced me, and I was completely fine with.
Who were your honorable mentions? Who are the 2 that
Oh, I felt like Haley Joel Osment was someone that people would want on there, but
on my list,
Secondhand Lions, Sixth Sense. He did some stuff. You're right.
yeah, he did
Really,
some stuff.
You should be on the
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Like she's done some great stuff, but just not for me.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm so I don't know. I can't him and ha anymore over this,
You
but
can't. We're live. Let's do this.
we're
thing.
live. Oh, we're live. Okay, I mean, but Fred Savage, it's so hard.
Yeah. No Tatum O'Neal, but Fred Savage. But I also moved your fave all the way to 6. So you're.
And
not,
you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like Drew Barrymore, I like more than Dakota Fanning. But if I'm really looking at
The
what
acting.
Dakota Fanning did, knocking her so far down,
It's tough. I get
we
it.
just
It's a
can't do that.
bold
And
move.
honestly,
was a
getting
It's the only way to make it work.
and
That
wait,
was my
who
problem.
did you replace with Kim Fields?
Emma Watson.
Yeah,
what
And
no,
you've not seen
I'm
any Harry Potter.
no, I haven't seen any Harry Potters, and I believe that because I think she's a lovely activist in person. But no,
What
so,
were your
Bran, I'm
thoughts?
gonna-
What were your thoughts on the inclusion of Mara Wilson?
Yeah, you didn't even mention that. Yeah.
Okay,
The
like,
2
sure.
that he brought
Like-
to the table aren't actors.
I actually feel like
Anymore, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No,
if they aren't
no,
anymore.
I actually feel like the Mara Wilson. I think she was an incredible Matilda, and I think she was great in Mrs. Doubtfire. Like I think that Mara Wilson
that's not bad.
maybe deserves to be like 10.
14th. 15th.
But I will tell you, Bran, I thought about the Fred Savage of it all, but if I'm being honest, I was really dissuaded. I said I didn't take into account people as adults, but I think I did because I think if I'm thinking about it, I was really taken with his work when I was a kid. I really was. He wasn't my queer awakening.
No.
So did
you
I
didn't
win?
have a
Did I-
thing?
did I win?
Are you choosing Bran's list?
The list that I'm going to choose is Bran's list.
Hey, it's Bran's list. Oh, I went too early.
Yeah!
Hit it, nighttime swimmers.
It's Bran's list with Bran. We didn't think that
We
through,
didn't
but
think
I
that through at
won.
all.
That's what I'm
He
trying to
did
get
it.
at.
It's
Thanks,
Bran's
night
list.
swimmers. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Incredible group. They were ready to go
Unbelievable.
on
They
a
were
dime.
ready to go on a dime. No warm-ups or nothing.
No.
Jax, I know that was tough. Thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing the
Thank
list.
you guys so much. Wait, before I leave, can you let me know who, like, just throw out more names of who you think I missed? Like, each of you get 2 more, just because I'm curious.
well,
I had my other honorable mention is less about performance and more about the impact. The not the impact. The impact.
Cultural impact.
Yes, Shirley Temple.
She was on the list.
Yeah.
Same.
Like
same.
it's not like you watch Shirley Temple now and it's like I understand why she had such an impact, but like now seeing how amazing child actors are, it's like a little bit different. It's hard to kind of compare, but it's hard to argue that any child actor had more impact than Shirley Temple.
Big deal.
Yeah, if you would have, I had the same thing. I preferred the way that acting is going now. But yeah, she was an incredible performer. More of a performer than an actor, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's probably the distinguishing line there. I had when I looked this up, I don't think she belongs on this list, but I think if she had been given more opportunities, she would have. Kavainsey Wallace, who was in Beasts of the Southern Wild.
But
But she doesn't have enough of an
know.
oeuvre. But the other one that I had close Freddie Highmore. I think Freddie Highmore in Finding Neverland. And
Jax, I don't think we can air that.
Finding Neverland, and then the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka, which is off the rails.
Amazing.
But the work that Freddie Highmore does in those two movies, the scene on the park bench in Finding Neverland where the kid produces one tear, and it is not eye drops. Like, he produces the one tear. That almost got him on my list. I almost put him in. He deserves to be top 15, if nothing else. He's phenomenal. As a child actor, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, I could see that. I think some of these were tricky for me because I really like him on The Good Doctor, and I'm like, am I letting that influence things and all of that? But yeah, okay, these
Bates
are
Motel, but he was an adult in Bates Motel, but he's great in Bates Motel.
Yeah.
So.
The only other
Guys,
honorable
this
I
was
had
so
was
fun.
Haley Joel Osment, so I think we're all in agreement there.
I think we did it.
Yeah, we did it,
Yeah,
everybody.
we did.
Great job.
Jacklyn
so
Collier,
fun.
everybody.
Great job, Jax. You were wonderful, a true expert in this field, and I'm so glad that you joined us for this. Anything else?
I think that's it. Do you want to kick it back to the band to get rid of it?
Guys, come on. We'll start playing it. Play us out, buddy. All right, bye, Jax.
That's the Diss List with Bran Dan. That was the Diss List with Bran Dan. Woo! That's the Diss List with Bran Dan. That was the Diss List with Bran Dan.